I think Jujutsu Kaisen is a show more existential than people give it credit for. Even if it's not the main point of the show, it's what makes it probably my favorite shonen. Maybe this is a hot take, but I like it more than Attack on Titan. Not because I thought the ending sucked or whatever, but I like the autonomy each character has in Jujutsu Kaisen. Autonomy that leaves them free to self-reflect on what they want to do with their life. For me, there's 4 characters that really embody this, and the first may come as a surprise, but it's actually Gojo.
皮肉だよね。全てを与えられると何もできず。
When you think of the word talent, you might think of a technique that guarantees crits, or being able to absorb spirits like their Pokemon, or just being good at punching things. But another understanding of the word talent is some God-given gift so strong that you have to follow it. When I first heard this idea, the example given was Messi, but it's easy to see how this applies even better to Gojo.
天上天下、唯我独尊。
During season 1, I didn't really understand Gojo's character, and I thought he was just overpowered for the sake of being cool and overpowered. But in season 2, during the whole trying to stop your best friend from starting a genocide, sounds kind of familiar, the show asks him a pretty interesting question.
君は五条悟だから最強なのか、最強だから五条悟なのか、何が言いてんだよ。
When I first heard this question, I thought he was just trying to piss Gojo off, but he is asking a legitimate question. How much of Gojo was Gojo's choice? To make it nerdy and pretentious, where is the self? The show doesn't give you an answer because it's not a question that really has an answer, but we do see the effect this has on Gojo. We see him transform from a teenager solely focused on individual strength to a teacher focused on fostering a new generation for systematic change, so that what happened to his best friend never needs to happen again.
和コードから青春を取り上げるなんて許されていないんだよ。
There's probably not much I even need to say about Geto's existential crisis, but I do like how his specific ability ended up mattering a lot. His power is being able to absorb and then control cursed spirits. But in order to absorb a spirit in the first place, he describes the process as feeling like
吐砂物を処理した雑巾を丸飲みしているような。誰のために？
It's why he has such self-righteous ideals because he needs to, and why he falls apart so hard when they no longer match up with reality. Riko's death is the straw that broke Geto's back, showing him that all the pain and suffering he goes through is probably in vain. Because 1, the humans they're working so hard to save might just be evil anyways. 2, even though Riko died, apparently a replacement was easily found for her, making him wonder why he and Gojo needed to almost die for this mission. And 3, all the pain and death that he and his comrades face are just treating symptoms and not actually fighting the cause. And I think I like when characters are challenged to the core of their being because no matter what they choose, it's going to say something interesting. In the background, we see Nanami going through basically the same shit as Geto, but unlike Geto, he doesn't have the power to actually change anything.
だからやめた。というより逃げた。
When I try to think of it objectively, Nanami's backstory isn't really that special. It's 4 minutes of runtime about a jaded salaryman giving his ideals a second chance cause the grass is shittier on the other side. But maybe not being special is what makes it special. If I wanted to be cynical, I'd say I was projecting my own situation at the time. But I also think there's nothing more beautiful than somebody affirming their reason for being.
生きがいなどというものとは無縁の人間だと思っていた。もしもし、ナナミです。お話があります。
Which finally brings us to Itadori. This whole video was inspired by the idea of reconciliating ideals with reality. A phrase I've taken directly from season 1.
現実と理想のすり合わせができていないバカなガキは。それは違います。
彼は今まさにそのすり合わせの真っ最中。バカはあなたです。
Itadori is the main character and has the very main character-y ideal of if people die, then they should at least be given proper deaths. An ideal questioned not in the sense of whether it's right or wrong, but first, what even is a proper death, and later, how much can he even do? For a while, I was actually pretty underwhelmed by the Shibuya arc. Outside of a few really banger scenes, it just felt like chaos, destruction, and killing off of characters for pure shock value.
I need an adult.
I am an adult.
Which was awesome, but I didn't get where the show was going with this until the end of episode 41.
小僧、せいぜい噛みしめろ。
In shonen, it's not uncommon for some world-shattering event to happen only for things to just return to the way they were before. But while I don't know exactly what's in store for Jujutsu Kaisen, I know it will never be the same again. Our kind, sincere, optimistic Itadori will never be the same again.